We're finally on week 5. I'm so happy. Hi, my name is Taylor Hamlin. This is History Forge, and I am 2 days late on making this video, so my bad. It has been a very fun week, very exciting week. We have had so many opportunities to do work, and the kids have actually been sitting with me for one-on-one meetings. So yeah, no, it's been great. It's been really fun. This is week 5 again, and I'm 2 days late. So we're going to jump right in so I can actually push this out to parents and anybody else who likes to watch these things. And that way everyone can stay on board. So this week is pretty much the same every single day. It's a little bit different because normally I, every day in my class, do something very different. There's not a lot of repetition. But this week I wanted there to be because we're really working on one-on-one meetings, and that means the students have to be doing other things while I'm doing the one-on-one meetings with other students. So I'll kind of get into what that means by going through the days right here on day 18, Monday, September 17th. So I actually introduced the concepts to the students. Like I have a lot of different links here, it looks like. Yeah, there's so many. I have all these links here for the students. As you can see, it says review Google Classroom, answer with the class. So we reviewed like how to do Google Classroom. I'm going to show everyone like what I do. So first of all, I have 4 classes. I'm going to see if I can show them to you. Yeah, so sorry, my video, like me, is in the way. I actually might be able to move me. Haha, yes, I can move my video real quick. So as you can see, there's 4 classrooms here. One's called Sitting Bull, one's called Harriet Tubman, one's called John and Abigail Adams, and one's called Abraham Lincoln. I'm going to go ahead and put me back. And those are my kind of periods. I don't really actually divvy out my kids by period. I divvy them out by skill level. And the way we do skill level is I use their state tests and my observations to kind of figure out like where should you each be. So each one's a little bit different. Each is really focused on that. And if parents want to email me and ask more questions on like what specifically each one entails, I can. But I always tell the students, like, it doesn't matter which classroom you're in, like, each one's designed to bring out the best in you and to help you out. So, for example, the group in Sitting Bull has to do a more advanced reading. So if your student's in Sitting Bull, or if you're a teacher watching this and you want to know how I do things, if they're in Sitting Bull, they basically need to do a college-level text, and I make sure that the college-level text isn't too above them. I actually have one-on-one meetings with each kid, and I said, hey, like, is this okay with you? Like, are you understanding the questions? Is it too difficult? And, you know, everyone gives me their honest responses, and throughout the year, I'll probably move kids into that group and out of that group based off their level. But just to kind of let you know, that's kind of some differences. So that's Sitting Bull, and then each level going down becomes a little more, not simplifies the wrong word, but just at that student's level. So students in Abraham Lincoln, for example, they have vocabulary like everybody else, but it's chunked to be smaller. And it just gives them more time to do some basic practicing so we can make sure their vocab is good, their reading levels are being improved, things like that. So again, if anybody has questions, I can go on for probably an hour talking about these things. And so if anyone has questions about these, let me know. I'll go into one. I'll use Harriet Tubman. So Harriet Tubman's one of my groups, and if I go into it, and so if you're a parent and you see this, you can actually go into your students, just ask your students to like have them log in, and you can see all their work. Right now you kind of see where my mouse is, I'm waving it around. That's where the students have all their work that's coming up, and so the students will have a little button here called View All, kind of where I'm shaking my mouse, and if they click that, you'll see all their missing assignments and everything else too. Also, if you click on Classwork, you'll see the different sections. So I have 5 different sections in my classroom, or skills I should call them. And the students are all practicing these skills. One's called inferring or close reading. The other one's called contextualization. I don't actually have the other 3 in there yet. But students can actually see how they're organized, like as far as their classroom questions. And that'll become really important when we start getting into what students are weak at and strong at. And I'll get into more of that later. But just so you know, that's where you can find it. And that's pretty much it. Again, just ask your students to show this to you if you're really curious. But this is where a lot of their Google Classroom work goes. And so on the gradebook, if you ever see like Google Classroom questions, this is where I put them all. If you click on them, you'll see that the questions right here, they got the book pages and everything right there. That tells me how many students have been done, how many students are still remaining. So it's actually pretty nifty for me. I have all the directions right here. So again, if your student is behind and it says Google Classroom questions, this is what it is. So feel free to talk to them about it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So we went over that, and going back into it, we talked about video assignments for the week. I've been doing videos with the students, and all those things are on my YouTube channel. If you're a subscriber, if you don't, if you want to, all that stuff is there, and I'll be pushing that out more to parents and students as we make more videos. And we started talking about like how there's going to be more Google Classroom questions this week because I'm doing those one-on-one meetings with students. And because the thing I'm highlighting right now is why we started narrowing the students' topics in order to start figuring out like what they want to do for their big project. So I can go ahead and click on one of these things just to show you what we did. So I'm already at 5 minutes, I need to hurry. I don't want to click on that one either. That one's the detailed one. I'm going to use the simple one. There we go. So that one should work. Looks like it. Yep, it works. So this is what I showed the students. They made funnels, and just to keep it simple, during the one-on-one meetings, we're talking about the students' topics and funneling their ideas down to something doable. Feel free to pause my video and read that more in detail if you want to, but that's what we're doing with our one-on-one meetings. And they're nice because we really are focusing on like what makes you tick. We're using those character logs that we've been building. We're actually going to print those off and give them to parents during student-teacher conferences too. And that's pretty much what we've been doing every single day. So students have been working on their Google Classroom questions. They also have videos they have to do, and I hyperlink these videos right here. I also forgot to like remove all my comments. Yeah, these comments are like things I make for myself just to like remind me to do things for next year, so ignore those. But the video lectures are also what students have to do. A lot of times they have like a video check, I call them. They're not quizzes, but they're just like questions that involve the video in order to help make sure that students are actually paying attention and listening and thinking critically, those kind of things. So those are there. I tell students that they have to get a minimum. So it's beyond failing too. So the last video was 15 points, and I said you had to get at least a 13 out of 15. If you didn't, then it's considered incomplete, and you have to do it again. So I try to tell students, like, hey, don't just bulldoze through things. Don't rush. Like, you need to take your time. And if you don't take your time, you're probably going to have to take it again anyway, and that's just a big waste of your time and mine. So if you're curious about those videos, the link's right there. Feel free to check them out. If you're concerned that they're too hard or anything, again, feel free to message me. If you're a teacher watching this and you want access to any of these videos, just email me or private message me on YouTube or whatever social media I have out there, and I'd be happy to share this stuff with you. It's no secret. I got all these tests, and I would love to share them. So scrolling down, I'm not going to get into each day because, again, each day is the same. We're doing those one-on-one meetings. And that's pretty much it. We do have some things that are different, like the primary sources video. Those are different. Students need to take notes on those. I'm actually checking notes tomorrow, so that'll be Thursday. I'm checking notes. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Every day's the same, except for Friday. The Friday is supposed to be our vocab test, but I actually won't be here. I have a substitute teacher coming in. So I'll probably just have the students do Monday's work, and then we'll do the vocab test on Monday instead. That's pretty much it for the week. Oh yeah, there's one more thing. If your student is doing the vocab tests won't be found on Google Classroom. They'll be on my team website. The team website is what I'm showing you right now. The students all know how to get here, or they should. So go to the Pierre School District and then just click on Team Haleakala. And I have a link right here. It's called U.S. History Spanish. If you click on that, should work. Yep. Click on that, scroll down, you'll see these links right here, and you notice that these groupings are the Google Classroom. So like I said before, Google Classroom is differentiated by skill level and just kind of needs. So, for example, my Abraham Lincoln group has a lot, it seems like they have a lot more at work, but they don't. These are actually broken down a lot more, whereas the other three groups have bigger chunks, but they have to do them once a quarter. So they technically have more time to study, but at the same time, they have to do bigger. Like they have like 100 words they have to do, whereas the group in Abraham Lincoln has to do like 25 to 30 words at a time. So definitely check these out. Ask your student like which one they're in, just so they can figure it out. And each one is different too. So Sitting Bull and Harriet Tubman are very different, even though they have the same ones. The words are different. Sitting Bulls are a little bit harder, for example. So Harriet Tubman's kind of at that second level. And if you're curious about these things or like how I differentiate, please let me know. It's not meant to hurt students. It's meant to like uplift them. So your student might be a little extra stressed in Sitting Bull because I'm challenging them. And some students in Abraham Lincoln are just we're trying to rise them up. And that's it. So that's how we do things. Going back to the calendar, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, the week's pretty, it's exciting for me because these students are doing all of these one-on-one meetings, and so I really get to have a chance to talk with the kids, like one-on-one, which I never get to do as a teacher. It's always like a group of them. So it's really nice. I've really enjoyed it. I'm not anticipating any more problems. Like, I've actually got a lot of good recordings of the students already, and I'll be happy to share those with everybody during parent-teacher conferences and so on and so forth. So that's been me. My name's Taylor Hamblin. This is week 5 of doing project-based learning. If you're a teacher watching this and you want more information, the project-based learning stuff is really kind of kicking in right now, where we're taking the students' topics and we're trying to refine them. And I think the only way you can do that is actually having one-on-one conversations with the kids, because you have to remember, students do not know any American history at this point. I mean, they know some things, but a lot of it's like the myths that we tell them. So you need to find a way to actually communicate with them, like, hey, how are we going to take this big topic, like, say, the Civil War, and how are we going to reduce it down to something that's actually manageable in a big project? And you're the expert. You're the one that has to do this. You're the one that has to give them advice. And what I've been doing is using YouTube. So I think I'll make another video about that another day, because this is also our parent thing. So again, I'm Taylor Hamblin. This is History Forge. Check out the links in the video descriptions. Feel free to email me if you have any questions. And yeah, take care. See you later. Bye.